Hmm. Happy to see the Zoom quality is top notch right now.
Mm.
But Daniel, hi Dan,
Hello, how are you?
good, fresh off victory today
Yes. Masters champion.
on the side before he departs back to do the
Top
humble
notch right
Cup.
now. It's
Uh,
awesome. I'm
I
ready.
know,
I'm excited for this week.
I am as well. I have nothing but high hopes for tomorrow.
Wow.
For sure, we just
I mean, we'll see. Uh,
well, let's get this going because I have
yeah,
I don't have a specific time I have to go, but like
yeah.
I stay tuned. Could you just retweet the link I tweet in a second
Yep.
on the Go Get That account?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we are good. I'll record it, all right? And I'll send it
Okay.
to Jordan to post.
Yeah. You're tweeting on yours, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna tweet right
Okay.
now. I don't have my camera with me, so this is as good quality as I'm gonna get today. And I don't have my mic as well, but yeah,
Yeah, who
sure.
cares? We're just chit-chatting about the open.
We are indeed just a
The
casual
open.
chat.
Oh, the chills when the theme goes off tomorrow morning.
Oh man, it's such a tweeted. All right. Let's get this going. You good?
Yeah.
All right. It's probably not going to be as long as our usual one, just because it's only two of us. But
Yeah,
we
it's
can
fine.
share our podcast plays at the end as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
thank you. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone. Episode 95 of the Go Get That podcast. We're a little short on fellas today. No Elise, no Jordan, which is a little unfortunate, but a lot going on. Apologies that I don't have my microphone or my camera, so I'm just kind of chit chatting about the Open, as Dan said. Um, yeah, I'm looking forward to this week. It's been too long since Jordan Spieth has been in contention of the major on Sunday, so hoping that narrative switches a bit. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, it's been about 2 years, right? 2021 Open would be,
exactly 2 years actually. It has been 8 majors, so yeah.
yeah. So I mean, obviously this year's Masters was a T4, but that, you know, doesn't really count. That was a classic like Rory type backdoor T4. Um, yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't think this week is gonna be the most fun or the most open. I think it's
No,
gonna be kind of it's soft. Unfortunately, they've gotten a lot of rain. The wind is not gonna pick up that much.
yeah.
It's still a tough course because the bunkers are penal. Like if you hit it in the bunker, you're likely pitching out.
Yeah,
But it's scoreable. It's scoreable. I think you'll see some variance in scores, which is fun, but I do think it'll be a 15 under type of winner. Which is okay.
well,
But
yeah.
I do it would be fun to see something in the 8-9 range a little bit more consistently, but it's
I'm
just part of golf these days, right? It's trying to
I'm
figure out
I'm
how to get
certainly
the
not a
winners
huge
down.
fan of this golf course. It's very bare and boring on the front nine, I believe. Um, I think that back nine has some cool holes. It will make for a pretty cool stretch, I think. But
Yeah,
overall, this isn't my favorite course in the Open Roto by any means.
no.
I
And
think that it just the soft conditions will just make it worse, which is unfortunate. So it is what it is.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
Thoughts on have you looked much at 17? I think that might be the hole
yeah.
this week
That
of
that is the hole. It's one of the um better holes in the Open. I mean, that's the only memorable hole from this course that I really think about.
yeah,
That I've like that's talked about consistently and is so
yeah,
it'll be cool. I think that but I just there aren't many of those holes. So
right.
I'm gonna pull
Yeah.
up the
I was talking to Jordan who's out there. And he was saying three's a cool hole. 17's cool. 17's kind of a short three with a smaller green, and it's
yeah.
supposed to play into the wind most days. So that could be a tricky hole. 18's an interesting finishing hole, obviously a par five, but um internal OB down the right. And it's very close to the fairway. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that.
Um I'm not a fan of OB internally at all by any means. I think there are some times where you have to have it just because of the fact that like if say you cut down trees and the only option is like everyone will be going down out of the fairway, I think that makes sense at least. There's really no need to have the internal out of bounds this close to the fairway. It's pretty I mean it's there's a good margin between the out of bounds stakes and the stands, I believe, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it's a lot wider outside of it to get towards like the crowds and stuff.
yeah, I just really don't see the point
Yeah.
of having it that close to the fairway. Maybe it'll be fun down the stretch, but I think it's gimmicky. I think you know you shouldn't be penalized for missing the fairway by that little.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
so
and I think there's just a more natural way to do it. Like I think you just grow that stuff up
yeah,
and then guys won't hit it there. Um and
but the
they'll
difference between hitting the right side of the fairway and being 10 yards off the right side of the fairway should not be
out of
a wedge
bounds.
in and or a re-tee. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Or even like the second shot in is where it can be troublesome too, right? Like
yeah,
because it
yeah,
runs up that side. So you wipe a 3 wood or something going for the green, like you're just re-hitting from the middle of the fairway hitting four. So it's
yeah,
it's interesting. I don't like it, but we'll see how it plays out. It might be kind of fun to just absolutely eliminate some guys because they hit a 3 wood right, but it'll be kind of brutal if some guys just get some bad hops and have it hop out of bounds.
right.
Because I don't know if that's fair, but I haven't heard much from the players like complaining about it. I don't think it's mostly just been a fan kind of spectacle
Yeah,
or fan topic on Twitter. So we'll see, but I think that'll be um interesting to watch for sure. Um yeah.
yeah.
Any other course thoughts? I feel like
Um, again, front nine, not many undulations. Not a
yeah,
huge fan of very flat.
kind of you can
Very
make some
open.
birdies on the front. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks to Speed for only practicing on the front line this week.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Gotta get the
yeah,
confidence up.
the front nine will be very forgettable. I think that it'll just go down as one of those like you won't remember much of Sunday on the front nine. So I think there's that.
Yeah. I kind
Uh,
of with the bunkers and stuff being so deep, I kind of think we'll see. I said it a little bit earlier. I think we'll see some variance in scores, which I think will make Sunday. I think it'll be St. Andrews. Obviously, it was Rory and Victor, but then Cam Smith jumped in, Cam Young jumped in. I kind of think this course will be more like there will just be a couple groups that separate themselves come
yeah,
Saturday midday, Saturday afternoon. So by Sunday it'll be 6 guys that can win, 5 guys that can win from the start, and then you go 6
Yeah,
holes and it's 3 guys who can win. So I think it'll be a pretty um it'll get the field will get leveled out pretty quickly out here. Um which I don't mind. As long as there's
no,
some interesting names kind of down the stretch, then it'll be a great tournament. And sometimes it's nice not to have like 10 different guys near the lead because um I think the TV coverage just doesn't do a good job of covering it all. It's like
yeah,
they don't know who to cut to. They don't know like they're trying to keep track of everything and it's a little behind, it's delayed, so it's sometimes easier to just have like 4 or 5 people that they follow around and have their on course people with. But um yeah,
yeah,
so it should produce a good winner. I will say that, even if it's not the most entertaining course or the most like tricky or
well,
openy, I guess, but whoever wins it will very much deserve
yeah,
to win this tournament.
yeah. I think one of the main things that you're looking at for some of the like the longer shots is going to be how they start. I feel like the I don't really see a longer shot winning this week unless they go completely ballistic on Thursday. Um, I just think that the course is set up for players who make a lot of birdies over 4 days and don't make a lot of bogeys over 4 days. It's not really a course that like Kepka will thrive on. I don't think the way he usually plays. Now, I think Kepka could win. Kepka is one of my picks to win in general, but I don't think it'll be a grind. I don't think it'll be a grind out over the course of the week, but I also don't think it will be a birdie fest. I think it'll be a mix of the two. So I see someone like Scotty Scheffler absolutely thriving at this golf course, which
Yeah,
is not exactly what I think Jay Spieth needs. I don't
no,
think this is necessarily a Jay Spieth course, but
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
we'll
can.
we'll have to see. I don't know if I think his game tends to dictate if it's a good course, right? And I don't think it's really there right now, but who knows? I mean, it's been a rough 6 tournaments, only 2 made cuts, a lot of um some poor iron play, which was a little concerning. Poor putting has kind of come back a little bit. I mean, we didn't even talk about the Scottish because it was forgettable. As Spieth fans, I guess. But any do you have any positives from that week, or was it all just like, oh God, this is not
Well,
what we were looking for out of the
well, honestly, I'm struggling to even like it was very forgettable. Like I'm
yeah.
struggling to even remember what necessarily happened. I mean, I didn't watch much of Friday. I watched all of Thursday.
Yeah.
It was
Thursday was not good at all.
no.
It was 7 decent holes.
Well, I mean, it really just the way he came home was really unfortunate because he was staring like a -3, -4 score maybe in the face when he was on the 11th tee.
Yeah.
He was one under with momentum and just completely. I don't. He didn't really hit a good shot the rest of the day.
No, he didn't. He didn't. He was awful on approach. Lost like 3 shots, and most of that was on that back nine. Friday was better in that regard. He had some good approach shots, made a mini charge at the cut line until he promptly bogeyed from the middle of the fairway, 140 out, which just
Was
seems to be like, oh my God, what are we doing here? But Friday was tough. It felt like in the front a lot didn't go right. He had that chip shot on 5 where it's in a bowl and you just have to run it back. And he left it short. And there were some other mistakes, I think, on the par fives, like leaving just the wedges have not been good in a while. But it definitely was
wedges.
like everything went bad that he needed to go bad to hopefully fix for this week. I just don't know if he's gonna make enough putts.
No,
or hit the ball well enough, to be
the
honest.
good
But
news for Spieth is that obviously his history at the Open can't be ignored.
yeah,
And I wouldn't necessarily call the Renaissance Club a very linksy style golf course.
no,
So I don't look at that and be like, oh my God, you can't play links golf anymore. So there's that. But he's even in his lowest of lows, he's found a way to put together a pretty decent finish here. He's never missed a
yeah,
cut here. And there are people that just don't play this type of golf very often, and he thrives under this environment. So I think there's a little more to be positive about than maybe suggested, because after this, I mean, I don't see him winning one of the playoff events the way he's playing.
yeah.
So
We'll see. I think the other thing too is he's usually really good off of a missed cut when he plays the next week.
yeah,
He won the RBC off of a missed cut. He missed the cut at Genesis and then played well at or no, Genesis, sorry, was the end of the streak. Missed the cut at Colonial, played well at Memorial. So when he has to grind for a week, he can usually put a pretty good band-aid on his swing. But or his game, I guess. But I just don't know if he's there. There's not enough healing power to win the tournament, I don't think.
no, there's
He'll need
not.
some things to go his way. But I mean, he's top 10 in 4 of the last 5 opens. That's the most out of anybody.
The really disappointing thing about his game right now is that there's nothing that suggests to me that he even has a chance.
Yeah, there's
With
nothing that's been
what
elite.
game,
Right.
like he's going to have to be a completely different player than what we've seen in the last few weeks for him to have chances.
Well, in the last 3 months. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think we've seen a guy who's good enough to win a major since RBC.
Yeah. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of
Question marks.
He just hasn't played much golf recently, man.
He really hasn't. It's
Played
been
2 rounds since the US Open. So
yeah. No, it was supposed to be the summer of Spieth, and it just turned into
well,
the summer of not. I don't know. They're just not playing. I mean, the wrist was not ideal. But
no,
I don't think that changed his schedule that much. It just
no.
he just missed a lot of cuts and didn't play a lot of rounds. So we'll see. I expect a better performance, but
Yes.
it would just be so nice to be in the 60s tomorrow and not like inside of 7 back tomorrow would be really nice. Like how many times have we've sat here and we're like, oh, he might have a chance, or oh, he doesn't have a chance, and then every Thursday it's like, oh, 8 back. Like it's the same thing every time. And I don't have any reason to think it won't be that tomorrow either. So we'll see.
Well, for our Eastern Coast folks, it's an early, and our Western Coast folks, actually, even worse for our Western Coast folks. It's an early morning tomorrow.
Well,
so that'll be interesting.
They tee off and it starts in like 7 hours. Well, under 7 hours.
Yeah.
It's Matthew Jordan or whoever leading off at 6:35 BST. So it's fun. It'll be love to watch some golf tomorrow on the cock on USA.
Oh, it will be an early morning of the cock. That's very
yes,
it will.
It will be.
It will be a morning of the cock.
Well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, do you have a guess for tomorrow? A prediction?
Well, I've been talking to my friend Ryan over here about this. He says hi to the fans.
Hello, Ryan. We love you.
I believe it'll be around a 70 with about 6 or 7 shots left out.
Oh God.
That's what I'm thinking. I actually think he scores. What's the par? 70.
71.
Yeah. I think it'll be something around 1 or 2 under. That should have been like 6 or 7. So
yeah, I think God, I could definitely see my heart wants a 63. My head says it's just like 72 and he's 2 under through 5. And it's
Ooh,
like, oh
oh,
my
oh,
God. That's just classic 4 in the morning stuff.
sadness, sadness.
Yeah, sadness. No, it would just fit, you know.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know, maybe the game is flipped a little bit. I mean, you never know. I feel like Greller could just concoct some magic, stir up a potion and change the vibes, but Greller's been hard at work for too many years these days, or these years, I guess. Working too hard for a man who doesn't come through for him enough, but
well,
um yeah, we'll see. But any other thoughts? I mean, I don't even know. Like the only way I think he has a chance to win is if he has an elite short game week. And I'm talking not just like elite per the field, but like elite speed short game week.
yeah,
I
you'd
just
have
don't
to.
think he's hitting it well enough to,
No, you'd have to get up and down from literally everywhere, I think.
yeah. And we'll see. It's doable because if it's a little soft, it'll grab so you can play a little bit more spin. Um, but that means it's easier for everybody else too. So he's gonna have
It's
to,
really unfortunate that this is where we're at, for sure.
yeah. So
At
he's
this
gonna have
at this stage of the season, given where he was at the RBC, at the API, at the Valspar, this is really the spot.
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it'd be so nice to roll in like a 20-footer on one tomorrow, just to like
Yeah, don't get your hopes up. That's
get the
most likely.
juices going. Yeah, I'm not. It's that'll be my dream, and then I'll wake up and it'll be 4:05. It's like, he
Yeah,
didn't even tee off yet.
that's tough. What
But
time's the off? 5:40.
4:09 Eastern. Got a little. I mean, they were always gonna throw Spieth in a featured group, but there's some good groups that aren't featured. So obviously no guarantees on Friday. But it's like
Yeah,
he's lucky his name is Spieth. Um,
yeah. Um,
but
who do we think's the headliner going into this week? Do we think it's Rory or do we think it's Scott?
well, the headliner's Rory.
Okay.
It should be Scotty. I don't want to say that. I think the favorite should be Scotty. The headliner is Rory, and the headliner
Yeah,
should be Rory. Like
that's
I
fair.
mean, we could transit. I don't know, what else we want to get into, but
I mean, we can just talk about, I mean, it'll lead into our plays, like some of the players we're high on this week. I mean, I know one
yeah.
for me is definitely Fleetwood,
Oh,
and
interesting.
Ricky. I think both of those are two people I'm very high on this week.
Yeah. No, I mean it. We'll see. They're both non-winners,
Yeah.
especially.
Well, yeah.
But at
Yeah.
some point, you would think they win. I mean, Fowler is,
Well, they both like the link style.
yeah,
So, and they're
I,
both playing very good golf. So I think
I would
that
agree.
one of them, if not both, will have a huge week this week. Maybe not win, but I think
No,
I could almost guarantee that one of them will be part of the story, I
that's
think.
fair. Yeah, you know, I can agree with that. I also, I don't know why I'm like super high on him this week, but it could just be Hatton's time. It feels
Hatton's too
like,
much of a head case for me to get behind that, I think.
yeah, but it's just not,
But it,
there's not enough like openness to this week where it's like
well, he's
crazy
won.
wins.
He did win the API, so he's won a big event.
Yeah, and this seems like he's playing really well.
Yeah, he is.
Quietly,
He
he's been
is.
really good, and he's popped too. That's the other thing is he can, like, I honestly he could be a first round leader tomorrow. He's the type of dude to like shoot a 64 on Friday
Yeah,
or Saturday and
yeah,
just get right back into the mix. And
that's
I
fair.
think he'll be kind of up there. I've obviously I out of all the big name guys, it's Scheffler's just gonna be there.
He's got it, man. I
But
mean,
I wouldn't be
Scheffler
surprised to
top
see,
five. Scheffler
yeah.
top five at plus 180 was something I had to stare at for a long time before
Yeah,
picking that
that's
up.
so tempting. Isn't Rory like lower odds?
Whereas
He's
like
like,
plus 150, like it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
that doesn't make any sense to me. Scheffler's literally finished in the top 5 7 straight weeks.
I think Rory will be out of the tournament Thursday afternoon.
No, I was kind of thinking like
This
he
is exactly what happened. The last 2 times he's been this big of a story was at Portrush and at the Masters this year. And what did he do in both those scenarios? He missed the gut at both.
yeah, I was kind of joking when I said, man, that Rory 74 is gonna hit on Thursday. Yeah, I don't know if he's got a 74 in his bag right now. Like I think the worst he could play is even par probably, but you never know. It seems that it's got a
You never know.
weird,
I mean, you get a bad
weird
bounce
way
at
of
17 or find yourself out of bounds on 18. That could be a big number. So
yeah, no, exactly.
yeah.
Any thoughts on John Rahm? He's
He
been
could win
quiet.
by 8.
Rahm's been
He could win by 8. I don't
he's
think he
been
will,
so
but
quiet. I
he's
feel like
got that in his arm.
I haven't heard anything from Rahm since Augusta.
Rom is so good. He has the win this week in his arsenal. I
Oh, for
don't
sure.
know if he will, but he's definitely got it in there. He's going to be part of the story to an extent.
Yeah.
I think that's a guarantee.
So if you had to pick a big name who's not part of the story, who would it be?
Well, the obvious answer is Rory. For me, I just don't think he'll live up to the expectations. But besides Rory, I mean, maybe that's a little biased. I'm gonna have to go. Hovland.
Interesting. I was kind of thinking about him too as my pick for this because like it's a good course fit for him, but I just don't know, and he's playing pretty well. It
Yeah,
just seems like it just doesn't
the
feel like
field.
a Hovland week, you know? Like I kind of think Hovland might be a guy that it's 73 on Thursday. And then he bounces back with, 69 to make the cut and then plays the weekend and 5 or 6 under to have a respectable T28. But it's like I don't know if he'll really be there. I know Cam Smith is playing pretty well. I don't know about him this week. I think he could get himself into some trouble off the tee. Although I'd say that, and I think he could pop as well. Like it seems like Cam Smith, I wouldn't be shocked if he was leading going into Saturday, but I also wouldn't be shocked if he missed the cut by 3. Some people are saying Xander or Cantlay. I mean, those dudes are just quietly like they're the most relevant golfers of this era, and it's crazy to me. Xander actually was not good in Scotland last week. I don't know what he's doing. He's got a very tempting number on him though. I think it's like 30-1 in some places. Cantlay is around there as well. Cantlay actually has 5 top 15s in the last 5 majors, which is wild.
Yeah.
Considering that he was
and he's
more
never
than 5
entered.
back.
Ryan actually just told me this today is that he's got all those top 15 stats, but he's never entered a Sunday with inside of 5 shots.
Yeah, no, same.
So
yeah,
completely backdoor.
Justin Ray. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes no sense how that works. He's flushing the ball, you just can't putt right now. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, those would be some big names that I kind of think can miss the cut. Any hole-in-ones? This one's tough.
Good question.
I'm gonna say yes. And I think it's from a live golfer.
Wow.
So we might not see it live. Like we might not. NBC might just be like, screw these guys.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my screen's frozen. Can you see me?
Yes.
Good to know. We're back now, I think. Yes, we are. Good. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with yes as well. I think it's been kind of a trend in recent majors, besides the Masters. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. There will be. There's two short par threes, right? There's another one that's under 60, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's one that can play somewhat short on the
Yeah.
front. And then
So yeah,
17 plays pretty short in general. So
yeah. I think
um,
it'll. Yeah, I think there'll be one hole in one, maybe two.
especially if it says
Live
soft.
golfer's an interesting. Live golfer's an interesting comment. Um, but yeah, it's a fair take.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it'll be a live. There will be
Yeah.
there could
Well,
be at
someone in the
least
chat said that he
there'll be at
sees
least
Xander.
3 live guys in the top 10. That's my boldish take of
One of
the
my
week.
plays is a live golfer. So
I have 2 plays that are live golfers.
it's good. It's good to hear. Good to hear. One of the very people
Um,
in the chat said that they think Xander's gonna miss the cut. I don't know if I see that. That's a little that's a little ambitious. A little ambitious.
yeah, Xander. But yeah. I mean, if want to go down that route, the live player I have, I think is actually going to play pretty well, is Bryson.
Okay. Yeah, he's been someone I just can't get a read on this week. I really never really played very well with style, but he could. This is not very linksy. This is a course that he could bomb and gauge.
He could, but
So I don't hate the pick at all.
also, I mean, he's got 2 top 20s in the last 2 majors, right? T4 at the PGA, T20 at the US Open. This everybody's kind of said TPC Sawgrass is not necessarily a comp course, but a course that there's some similarities there. And he's played well at Sawgrass.
Yeah.
The greens are pretty flat. We haven't actually mentioned that at all, really, but they're not slopey greens this week. And for
Well, I'm
Bryson
sure he's
with
got a stick number on him as well.
yeah, and for Bryson with all his
Probably what,
measurements
70 to
and
1?
stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I like Bryson this week, so I have him to win along with Hatton and Scheffler. But then also I back that up with a top 20.
Okay.
Because I
And then you
think
might as well
he'll
just say your last play and then we can go through mine.
yeah. So I think Bryson will play well. Good course for him. He hits it far, right? So he can club down if he needs to, stay out of the bunkers, whatnot.
Ooh, I just looked at your other play and I have a comment on
And so yeah, my final play is interesting. I didn't know exactly what to do with it. But because the wind is down a little bit, I'm rolling with Morikawa. I have him beating Homa and Shane Lowry this week. Homa in a major has yet to do it. I do think this could be a place where he could. He's been flushing the golf ball. Um, I just I'll be happy. If he plays well this week, I'll be happy to see it, but haven't seen it yet. And then I think Lowry might be a low key sleeper in some people's eyes.
I just don't think he's playing that well, man.
Yeah, I don't think he's like there yet. And I think he's
Like,
got a couple bad holes in him. And
yeah.
I think Morikawa's been quietly pretty good. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give him some benefit of the
Okay.
doubt there. But
Yeah, I'm not too high on Cal this week. Besides Hovland, Morikawa would be my second one that I don't think will be in part of the story in terms of big names. So we'll see though. I don't have Morikawa as a fade on my card, but I can go through that real quick. I have 3 winners. Cam Smith to win, Fleetwood to win, and Fowler to win.
okay.
And then I have a made cut parlay at 125, which is Scott. It's Scotty, not Adam Scott. Scott, Kepka, Fleetwood, and Fowler to make the cut. Rory over 69 in round 1 at plus 100. I'm going back.
69? What
Yeah,
happens if he shoots 69?
69 is
It's
booked.
okay.
So I get my 20 back.
Wow.
I'm gonna go get that points back. So, yeah, and then Jay Spieth top 20.
Couldn't lay off it.
I couldn't get. I mean, it was plus 160.
Yeah, he's kind of due.
Crazy. Yeah. And then Fleetwood top 20, plus 120, I think. So that
Yeah.
was a nice one. And then this one I just couldn't pass up. I was looking for Mickelson made cut odds all over the place with Ryan this morning. I couldn't find it. I was hoping to find something like plus 180, something like that. I couldn't find it. But he's plus 400 to top 40. So I'm like, okay, that's
Really?
I'll put 20 on that. Yeah, he's like plus, I think he's almost plus 1,000 top 20. So
That's insane.
I don't know why the books are disrespecting Mr. Mickelson so much this week, but
That's a
I was
little
not
crazy
happy.
to me
Yeah,
because he's
yeah,
played.
1,000. Yeah,
Did he miss the cut at the U.S. Open?
no, did he? He's made the cut at two of the majors. Was the U.S. Open one he missed? Oh yeah, he did. Oh right, yeah, that really killed me in podcast plays actually down there. I remember. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he bogeyed 15, the short par three, and then
Mm.
went birdie and missed a 20-footer to make the cut on 18. I remember
Yeah.
that was a chilling afternoon. That was chilling. Yeah, that was a chilling room run to the clubhouse.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's because he was great at Augusta, and
yeah. No,
I think
disagree.
he knows how to dial up his game.
Yeah.
I would just say once he gets to Saturday or Sunday, I don't know how much scrap will be there if it's not going well. So
Okay.
that's good value on the top 40 though, for sure.
My biggest fear is that he 55s.
Yeah. Or
Like does exactly what
243s
I
or something.
like. I got a perfect read on him. He makes the cut, and then me just not being able to find made cut odds just kill me as he finishes
Yep.
T55. So
Precisely.
possible, but maybe he has a Masters performance. Finishes solo second.
That would be wild. Could you
Yeah,
imagine Phil Mickelson having two runner-ups in majors in 2023?
that would be.
Phil
That would be
Phil's had a better major year than Jay Spieth.
I think he has already.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like that was not on my bingo card at the beginning of the year. To be fair, he's had a major season better than a lot of guys, including Justin Thomas. Who we
That's true.
didn't.
Don't Mr. Thomas will have a bad week this week. That's not something that you should be surprised to hear about um,
I
on this podcast. So
I wouldn't be surprised if he had a decent Thursday or Friday. But
okay,
I think when it comes to it, I don't like when it gets to Saturday, Sunday, if he's anywhere close to the mix, I don't think it pans out well.
okay, that's fair. Um,
Because his open track record is awful. But I think this course might suit him a little bit better than other ones. So
yeah. Well, if you don't have anything else, I mean, we can see if anyone has any questions for us. Mr. Schlaver, do you have any input on the week?
I can guarantee. I'm honestly quite confident that JC has 100% chance of top 20 and a 0% chance of contending on the weekend.
Okay.
It'll be a perfect happy medium.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anyone heard that, but basically saying there's a very good chance JSP top 20s and a 0% chance he contends on Sunday. So it's going to be a perfect medium in between, which is not something that's very too far out there. I think that's very possible. And I think we're all kind of in that area. I just don't see his game close enough to being there on Sunday. So
yeah. And there's a chance he's there like Saturday, but I just think when the pressure gets up, it's gonna fold. Like there's no inklings to suggest that if the heat turns up, that Spieth will respond. So, in that sense, I don't know. We'll see how this week goes.
we will see how this week goes. Let's see if anyone's saying anything above.
I'm just excited for that jingle tomorrow morning. That little tune. Welcome to the
theme is
Open.
so good. The theme is really, really good.
Little Nick Faldo back on the call.
Yeah, that was
That is not total. That dude just like is he just has golf in his bloodstream. I'm not surprised he's back in a somewhat limited role. And then
he loves it, man.
Yeah, that's
Loves it.
Jace. Great commentary. Hopefully Terry Gannon's over there. I think he is. I love that guy. But we shall just have to watch and find out. So anything else from you, Mr. Blute?
I don't think so. Obviously, a shorter episode because Jordan's not here. The recap will be fun. It'll be. We've been to majors before. We've
Yeah.
been to tournaments before. We've all been to PJ tournaments as this podcast has started. I don't know, Dan. Have you been the one that Chase Peace has played? Not since the podcast
No.
started, right? Okay.
No.
Well, that will happen soon.
If so,
But yeah, so it'll be really cool to hear his thoughts on the week.
Yeah. Probably do some like IG lives or something, maybe if he wants. I don't know. We'll talk to him about it. But there'll be some
Yeah, we
more
will.
content from
He's thankfully
Liverpool.
sleeping right now.
Yes.
As he has to be up early as
He has a
well.
lot of energy for the speed coaster tomorrow.
Well, he'll be tracking finding balls in the fescue.
Yes, precisely.
He'll
saving
be
some
saving strokes.
shots.
Saving
Yes.
strokes.
Yes. Good for
But yeah,
him.
that's about all I have. Thank you guys as always. I know it's just a shorter episode, but appreciate you guys for coming on, just chit chatting about the Open.
Mhm.
We'll see you in the recap.
Sunday live recap.
Live recap when he wins. Winning
Yes.
call. Yeah. See everyone.
Peace.